Hello again and welcome to Last Time Studios Top 10 Things You Might Not Know. This week we're talking about what might be my favourite genre. I can't get enough of horror sci-fi, but specifically Event Horizon. But why Event Horizon, you say? Admittedly, it's arguably not one of the best films in the genre, maybe. But this one's got a special place in so many people's hearts, right? Personally, I love it. So let's get started with number 10. Number 10, maybe a little too much. So the rotational shot you see here, the space station over the Earth, took nearly a third of the film's visual effects budget. A whole third. This one shot. The film's budget is listed as $60 million online, so even if only 20% of the budget was for visual effects, say, that's $12 million. A third of that is $4 million. $4 million for 45 seconds, and that's in 1990 something. I know I'm speculating here, but that is a lot. Do you think it was worth it? Number 9. Big fail. So when the film was released, it's well known the film had a tough time both commercially and critically. Since then, it's garnered a bit of a cult following. What's interesting is that director Paul Anderson said that the movie's cult status was actually predicted by Kurt Russell. So Russell went to a screening, and after the screening event he said, "Forget about what this film's doing now. In 15 years time, this is going to be the movie that you're glad you made." I agree. Hellbound. The visions from hell in the film, which were actually quite jarring the first watch through, were inspired by works from 16th century Renaissance painters Hieronymus Bosch and Peter Bruegel. Anderson was fascinated with their work. The pieces depict the reality of hell as a complete antithesis of heaven, the images being both terrifying and beautiful at the same time. They certainly are. Number 7. Pulling theories and inspiration. If you watch Interstellar in 2014, you'll notice a parallel explanation of how to bend space and time in order to travel huge interstellar distances. It's paraphrased by the character Romilly as he uses the exact same demonstration to explain the theory, pushing a pencil through a folded piece of paper. It doesn't get much easier to understand than that, I suppose. Number 6. For its namesake. The Event Horizon was named after the theoretical boundaries surrounding a black hole, and that nothing, not even radiation, could escape it. It's where the physical universe ends, meaning physical laws no longer apply. So the ship's name is symbolic for its journey beyond the borders of the known universe. Number 5. No aliens, please. Philip Eisner's first draft of the script involved an alien infestation on the ship. However, Paul Anderson preferred the haunted house in space concept of the film. So he had the source of fear change from aliens to something more supernatural and more hellish in nature. Nice move. Number 4. Cutting it short. Post-production was cut from 6 to 4 weeks as Paramount had 0 blockbuster movies scheduled at that specific time. Anderson was working 7 days a week overseeing the hectic editing process while still shooting the final scenes. I can't imagine the stress levels right there. Not to mention the fact that the initial test screenings had to be hastily recut within 1 week to meet the deadline following what the director described as disastrous screenings. Smooth sailing, sir! Number 3. When Dr. Weir opens the blinds in his room during the opening sequence, you hear a whooshing sound effect. How has that got to number 3? How is that so interesting? Well, it's a nice pop culture reference, so the sound effect is the sample you hear on Doom when you open the door. And before our top 2 picks, here are some honourable mentions. The watch that is spinning in the tunnel at the start of the film is an Omega Speedmaster, which is the same watch worn by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on their moon mission. Paul Anderson chose not to direct Mortal Kombat Annihilation 1997 to work on this film. The airlock the ship docks in is unlucky number 13 in Roman numerals. So there's a ton of errors in the film. It really adds to the charm. Here's a few of them. In the scene where Justin is touched by something in the Black Gateway, you hear him shout, "Oh shit!" but his mouth never moves. When the crew first approach the Event Horizon in space, they nearly hit the ship and Dr. Weir yells, "We're gonna hit! We're gonna hit!" but his mouth never moves. Upon first entering the Event Horizon, Captain Miller comments on how the ship is in deep freeze and how there are ice crystals everywhere. Then immediately after that happens, we see a water bottle floating around with liquid sloshing inside. Nice. Studio space and backs of other sets are briefly visible through the holes in the meat grinder tunnel when the fire races through it. Number 2. The script originally described the Gateway machine as a smooth, featureless black orb, 10 metres in diameter, suspended in midair between large rotating mechanical arms. Paul Anderson decided to redesign it to involve interlocking circles as a homage to the puzzle box in Hellraiser 1987. What a great inspiration. No wonder it looked so good. I love the look of the Gateway, and now I know why. And coming in at the number 1 slot, what a downer this one is. Seriously, it's garbage now. The director's first cut of the film ran 130 minutes and was graphically violent. Both test audiences and studio audiences didn't like it. The studio ordered the film to be cut down by 30 minutes and toned down the violence, a decision that Paul Anderson always regrets. Even worse though, The full version was never released, as Anderson revealed in 2017 that due to bad archiving, the tape was in such bad condition that the footage was practically unwatchable, forcing Anderson to throw it away. What a shame, I'd have loved to see that, damn. And that brings us to the end of another top 10. Please like and subscribe. See you soon.
What the f am I going? Why is this shit happen to me?